We got our first look at Aloy in the Shield Weaver armor in Horizon Forbidden West. Just look at the details and the sharpness. We see her in a tavern that should be full of chatter, groups blowing off steam and eating food. And Aloy actually meets Petra here, who you can know from a side mission in Horizon Zero Dawn, where you have to find weapon parts so she can build the Osram cannon, which you then also use during that mission to fight off waves of incoming bandits. So this very early on in the Forbidden West, Petra wants to catch up with Aloy, and it seems like we can choose to do that and start a side quest where we can help Petra deal with someone named Ulvund, or we can focus on the main quest instead. And this is just a small bit of info from a new GameInformer cover story, where they got to see 2 hands-off demos, one from an early part of the game, including the tavern, and one later mission against a Slitherfang. So I want to go over a ton of new details in this video. It's all very exciting and interesting stuff. We will get to look at new screenshots of that early part of the game. I won't spoil, of course, too much of the story beats. GameInformer does describe them in their article, but I will just focus on the key details. We heard about the Dawns a couple of times in Horizon Zero Dawn, a canyon at the eastern edge of the Sundom, and this is actually where we start the game, as it's our way to get into the Forbidden West. But new machines, the bristlebacks, are blocking the way, even though they're not native to the Dawns, but of course from the Forbidden West. We now learn that they run around in herds and that they dig up resources with their tusks, and I still hope we can mount one of them. I think that's pretty likely. To move things along more quickly, Aloy wants to take out these new machines and gets pointed to a workbench where she's told to craft acid arrows because they are helpful to detonate the canisters of the bristlebacks. So yeah, as speculated in my previous video, which I will link to at the end of this one, acid is a brand new elemental type with likely acid resistance on outfits, coming in handy against the Slitherfang, as they will shoot venom our way. We now also learned that this machine gets more violent as its health goes down, that it has a shock effect that covers a lot of ground, so it's hard to dodge, and also a sound blast that can stun Aloy for a few seconds. Handy to know is that it's weak against fire arrows, and that we can shoot off the electricity beam and use it against the machine, so it really seems that more machines in the Forbidden West have these weapons we can pick up and use against them. And it might be easier to find these weapons with a new focus feature, where we can now analyze and cycle through components of the machines instead of just having one window with some info. GameInformer notes that you can see if the machine contains a key upgrade resource or if parts are indestructible. The burrowers that we actually encounter early on in the game are, for example, weak against fire, and they have a detachable sound cell, and their eyes, just like the Watchers, are a weak spot as well. And also new is that you can now tag different components, so it's way easier to keep track of them during battle. So there is this like focus tutorial early on in the game, and we actually also reached the first big settlement, a chain scrape, early on too. So we'll go over a really cool new activity you can find here and way more awesome details. Of course, if you are excited for Horizon Forbidden West and like the content, then totally leave a like on the video. That would really help me out. Subscribe for everything on Forbidden West, and totally check out my giveaway for the Digital Deluxe Edition via the link in the pinned comment if you haven't already. So Chain Scrape is based on the Zion National Park, southwest of Utah, which already looks way bigger than any other settlement in the original, apart from Meridian, of course. I can see a campfire here, but they are back in Forbidden West. We still safe there, but fast travel is now free, thank God. So once you unlock the locale, you can just go there. And GameInformer notes how everything feels super lifelike, which we also see in this new screenshot. A lot of characters on the street. Guerrilla made improvements to the crowd system, better animations and audio, which should really help make the world feel more alive. And we already kind of saw that in the gameplay demo they showed, but GameInformer also talks about improvements to cinematics, which include a full motion capture, better facial animations, where we can simply see in Aloy's eyes whether it's confidence or hesitation. Like going back to Petra, those conversations with the zoom in on the faces, little body movement, that's that's not what GameInformer is describing here in Forbidden West anymore. It's likely more similar to the waterlogged side mission from Frozen Wilds, although we of course have to wait and see how it really looks in action. And we gotta talk about the Shield Weaver for a moment, because first of all, I really like the fact that she's wearing this in all these early game shots. It did not really make sense for us to start the game without this most powerful armor we get at the end of Zero Dawn. Like, why would you get rid of that? But still, if we have it through the whole Forbidden West game, then there is very little reason to use other armor sets. Well, there are now theories on Reddit, and Baka Game Enthusiast reached out on Twitter about this as well, that the Shield Weaver will be used to make the Shield Wing, that at one point, likely before we properly reach the Forbidden West, the armor gets destroyed, or we are forced to use its tech for the glider, which first of all is called a Shield Wing. Very similar to the Shield Weaver, and it's also similar tech, looking at the lights that appear on the armor constantly. So that would be a solution to still have it early on, but then not be able to use it later on. I think that would be really, really cool, but maybe they think of something else. At least we have it early on, which is kind of wild. Now going back to the settlement, because we should find many activities and missions here, one of which is called the Melee Pits, where we can learn new combo moves. Melee Pits offer challenges to test your skills, but most importantly, they also provide step-by-step tutorials from trainers on how to chain certain combos. And there should actually be a side mission linked to these as well, and that totally makes me hopeful for more melee weapons than the spear. Overall, a big focus has been on the side content. For one, side quest characters will not just go away after one quest, so expect longer quest lines like the one we saw with Neil, where he was at every bandit camp and of course had a really cool final mission, and they want these missions to be more rewarding too. That was another part where we felt like we had some room for improvements, so you get cool weapons or you get a cool outfit, something that's really useful for your next quest or activity. Like for example, the Petra quest only gives you a good amount of XP, and that's really it. So if you were already a high level, there was no good reason to go back and do these missions. Let's go back to the settlements, because they should once again be a safe haven, and there is an important feature that will bring us back to these encampments, namely the workbench. Here you can upgrade weapons, outfits, pouches, and craft special gear. Traps and potions can be crafted here too, but just like in Zero Dawn, you can also make them just like ammo during your adventure. So we have sadly no footage of the workbench menu yet, but in short, weapons have 3 to 5 upgrade levels, and leveling them up at the workbench unlocks a new ammo type, like the acid arrows for example, and also increases the weapon stats. And it's not about the metal shards anymore at these workbenches. Instead, we have to go out and hunt machines more often to get the things we need. The job system from Zero Dawn is back, where you can make a quest for a certain machine part and then also see a marker on the map and can just go there. Like the Nora Anointed armor, I think we see Aloy wear here in this screenshot looking over the canyon, requires 2 lance horn antlers to upgrade, so these smaller machines are also back in the sequel. Outfits also should have 3 to 5 upgrade levels, and next to the resistance, they also can improve certain skills. So I already touched on this in previous videos, but the skill tree is completely different this time around, with not 3 or 4, but 6 different playstyles. Warrior for melee, Trapper placing disarming traps, Hunter for ranged weapons, Survivor for health and resources, Infiltrator for stealth, and also Machine Master for hacking. Each specialization should have around the 20 to 30 skills, with active skills and passive skills. They mention, for example, needing fewer resources to craft, or low health regen. Every tree also has its own Valor Surge. We of course have seen Aloy use these abilities a couple of times. A new one they talked about is called the Power Shot. Maybe this is an early one we unlock. This should improve your shot damage. And good to note, just like in the original, you can mix and match these skills however you want. But I am curious if we will be able to unlock all of them in one playthrough, or if we need, for example, New Game Plus for that. Curious if New Game Plus will be available at launch. So the skill tree already sounds pretty wild on its own, but again, your outfits can increase this even more. The biggest game changer is the outfit and weave boost, which can take certain skills past their level cap, raising some stats 300%. So outfits now have skills linked to them from the sounds of it, meaning that if you already have a skill at the highest rank but wear an outfit with that same skill, the bonuses from that skill can go even higher than you normally would. Next to that, the mods are also back, which can improve the power of skills even further. Sounds like we can make some pretty wild builds in Forbidden West, not to mention the weapons that of course also should add a lot of depth and variety. I'm super excited about this. I cannot wait. February 18th can't come soon enough. You can check the GameInformer article, by the way, if you want. It's $5 if you buy the single issue on iOS or Android, and they should have more exclusive Horizon stuff in the coming weeks. So I will keep you up to date here, share my thoughts, and of course go in depth on everything. So subscribe for everything Horizon Forbidden West if you haven't already. A like on the video would really help me out. And check out that previous video where I also went in depth on some other Horizon news like the recent trailers. For now, I'll speak to you in the next one. Goodbye.